Hello, it is I, Tasha, and today I brought a guest.
Hello, it is me. You probably don't know me.
So today, Blue Protocol release.
News.
Is it the global trailer?
Yes.
Our world. Regnus. Eons from now, a long-forgotten evil will awaken within the planet's core and destroy it.
This is the first time we're hearing English
Our
voice
fate
acting.
is not sealed.
I believe so, yeah.
There are those who are willing to give everything to protect the future of Regnus.
That's
It's
a cool
gorgeous.
showcase of each one. Yeah.
Even if it
Yeah.
means sacrificing
Oh, look at that
the
hood
past.
though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dang, that music sync though. Gosh, the Twin Striker looks so cool. That was a fun fight.
That was a fun fight. That was when we knew that the game was something special. Because that fight was really well done.
Yeah, I really miss doing like raid battles and WoW, so it really scratched that itch. I meant to edit our run of that and share it. Maybe I still can at some point. It's like, it was really clutch for us since we were so under-geared. Woo!
I don't know what those numbers and symbols and letters and stuff mean.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention. Where were they? Oh. 10. There's a
But it's
P and a 3. Yeah, okay. I was like, dude, what if they're gonna drop it in October and that's just like them
Release date. That would have been awesome. So the trailer was huge, and when I saw the trailer this morning, I ran into the living room to tell you, and then the Blue Protocol database unveiled their full interview with Amazon Games that they've been teasing for like 3 weeks. I assume they had some sort of like NDA where they couldn't release it until that video.
Oh, that would make sense if it was like
as
synced up
soon
with
as
it.
Amazon dropped it.
Exclusive interview with franchise lead Mike Zadorjny?
Zatarajoni?
Zadarajny.
That's a pretty baller name, to be honest.
So, Mike Zadarajny and Blue Protocol hands-on demo. Are these the questions?
Those are the questions.
Start with the first question. Censorship is a huge topic in the West. Can you confirm if elements of the game will be changed in Blue Protocol to fit the Western scene? If yes, may you please expand on this subject? So this is the child NPC model going from wearing a belly shirt and a skirt to just like shorts and a sailor top that isn't as short. And then same goes for this. It's really just they decided that instead of having the belly button showing, the shirt goes all the way down to the waist, which it's like, out of the two of these, you know, which outfit looks the cutest? Like, you know, these are cute, but like these aren't like they're sticking them in, what'd you call it?
Burlap sack.
I was gonna
No.
make a comparison to like Resident Evil 4 putting Ashley in just a big suit of armor or something.
Yeah. Mike says, I think censorship comes in different ways, and the level of censorship is usually where we find disagreements. We want the content and the events to be the same, one-to-one, which is good. The content of the game, the story, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're targeting T rating since it's anime. Generally speaking, anime is approachable by the teen market unless you start going towards extreme. This game does not play to those extremes. A change for us in the West, specifically in the character creation menu, the female characters will no longer have the physic shake button.
No.
In the version we've played, there is that button that lets you hit it and it shows your character wiggle and wobble.
I never understood the usage of that button.
It's just funny. You hit it and
It's
you're
funny,
like, oh, it's
but
a button.
like I didn't need it. So them saying we're not giving it to you, I was just like, why did you ever give it to me? It was
That's
just
true.
for the memes.
It's such an inconsequential thing. I don't know why they removed it, but I also think it was a stupid button to exist to begin with. So that's irrelevant. That change, who cares?
Yeah.
One of the other changes we've talked about, which players have seen, hence the picture we showed, is about making changes to outfits of the children to make outfits less revealing.
Them telling you it's specifically the children, the kids. And not just all females, you know?
These things are not necessarily going to detract from the gameplay experience or from the story that is going on. So, again, the content, the story, the plot, the world itself, they are saying they are staying true to Shamuka-san's perspective and ideas of what the game world is. And that is far more important. In gameplay demo, you may notice there are only 2 body presets available. The third small body size preset is gone. So in the version they played, it is not there. We can only assume that changing the body preset would be to avoid censoring current and future revealing outfits.
Yeah.
Censorship is also tied into the teen rating. If it may come down to a would you rather, do you want less censorship and fewer regions, or more censorship, meaning more regions available? So it doesn't say if the small body is gone forever or if they are going to bring the smaller body back but have separate outfits, which I think would be an extremely weird use of dev time.
Yeah, they'd be creating an instance like what a friend of ours described to us whenever they added the whole new body type of the bunny people in the Final Fantasy Online, where they were just like having difficulty getting the clothing to fit them properly because their body model was different. So if you apply that to, we don't want to give kids the more revealing outfits, then any outfit that had your belly button or like what you would deem to be revealing, they'd have to adjust that outfit every time for the child size model, which seems like a poor use of the 3D modeler team's time. I'd rather them make me more cosmetics.
Yes, not only that, it wouldn't be the devs, it would be Amazon's publisher making outfits, because the Japanese devs say, here's what we've got. Amazon Game says, we're not putting children in that, we're making our own. And then you would have not a congruent dev pool, because the publishers would be making their own artistic changes to outfits, which I don't think would work. So I think the thing with Final Fantasy XIV was when they added the rabbit people, they said they could either have normal human feet or redo all the outfits eventually, because they have like different feet or something, right?
Yeah, they're like Barbie dolls. They're like purple high heels or something.
I think we should look at the comments on the trailer briefly while we're on the topic of censorship and read some of the feedback on that first video.
1 hour ago, they said, I'm very happy to know that my small, angry, armor-clad character is being unpersoned by our noble censorship overlords who know what's best for me, even though playing as her brought constant joy to my life in the Japanese version due to the sheer comedic value inherent to the contrast between her unending fury and her diminutive stature. Amazon's helicopter parenting has helped me see the light. I will now do as I'm told and play as a perfectly average woman with perfectly average physical features to better represent to perfect average of the human race. There are no outliers in this brave new world, and short people will no longer drag down our race with their inferior height and stubby legs. We must be this tall to ride. I gotta admit, that's a pretty good
it
pretty
is
good
funny,
sense of
and
humor.
that is a good point.
Yeah.
We've played Blue Protocol in Japanese. The third body type is literal child.
Yeah.
Like, and we've played it.
It's definitely
played it
an
quite
unmatured 3D model. Like we have
played a lot of it, and I would say, 75% of every character is a naked child.
It is weird.
Like, it is bizarre.
What I was going to make sure that we explain, because not everybody here has played the JP version, and maybe you haven't even actually got to see a lot of the character creator or just like the game itself. Maybe you're fresh to this, or the footage you've seen has been more trailery. But anyway, my point is, when we're talking about the character models, each one on the JP version right now has 3 options. There is the child, unmatured model. There's the average, I guess, model, just like the mid of like,
Yeah.
you can tell that it's adult slash.
You are
We'll say
went
young
through
adult.
or are going through puberty.
Well, yeah, we'll say young adult body. So there's child body, then there's young adult body, and then the last one is very matured body to the point where some people would probably prefer to use the young adult body because the male model gets like beefier. So if you don't want your male character to look like he goes to the gym all the time and ask, what do you lift, bro? Like, I think they do have some like pretty beefy arms, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I think you get to control that to some extent.
Yeah, you can control it to some extent, but like, you are Giga Chad.
And then the same goes for the women's. So the women's, you just get fuller, I guess I'll say. There are just these slight differences between young adult and adult, but ultimately I think you could make young adult just be able to get shorter. And
yes,
then if you want to play a very short person, you can still be a very short young adult.
Our characters are both, or I am a young adult.
I'm adult. I chose adult.
You're an adult, but a short.
But I didn't make her. I actually slid down her height and her booba size a bit. Back to comment reading. We've got tell Amazon to publish the game and not delay it for Throne and Liberty, which I hear a lot of this. I hear at least one prominent content creator talk about how that's the reason for Blue Protocol's delay, though unless they mention it in this interview, I literally don't know where this data is coming from. I have not seen anything to back this theory up. It seems like a conspiracy, but
so bizarrely about that, I have seen people on the subreddit say that it is confirmed. They have proof. Amazon said it definitively and gave a statement on it. And I said, can I see the proof? And they don't respond. And then I've seen people say definitively that Amazon said that is not the reason. I have proof. You ask for it, they don't provide it. So they've definitively said,
trust me,
both,
bro.
But there is no tangible proof of either. So that's where we're at on that one.
Okay. Still think it's not good for Western version to only release in 2024. Japanese version gets 2023. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's called the global release.
Yes.
So I would think
Spanish.
that if you're releasing something on a global scale, it probably takes a lot more time to prep and make sure that all of your boxes are checked for each region's rules. So I'm not too shocked that it's gonna take longer.
Next question. What were the factors on deciding to delay the global release of Blue Protocol from 2023 to now 2024? Can you comment on the delay? And Mike says, we delayed the game for Throne and Liberty. Oh wait, he doesn't say that.
Oh dang, Mike said it's true. We delayed the game for Throne and Liberty. That's the whole answer too. And then they just move on.
So they delayed the game specifically to make some final changes based on that network test that we took part of. So nowhere in that did they say, and obviously it's not good marketing to say we delayed the game so you go play this instead.
Yeah.
But like they have a full 4-paragraph reason.
And that's pretty much
said,
what we were talking about. Like, this is what I assumed, you know?
Yeah, they delayed the Japanese game, so it delayed everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are looking at the fact that we announced English and Japanese voiceover for the West, with technical support for Brazilian, Portuguese, Spanish, German, and French. Okay. So they are redubbing in English.
Okay. Yeah.
They're not redubbing in the others, but we will be able to choose between the English and Japanese voiceovers.
Yeah, I think for me, there's going to be like 2 determining factors for which language I play on. There's the primary argument of it's how the original game was dubbed, and then that can go in with, are they going to sync the lip flaps to the JP version and the English dub? Because like it does feel nicer. And then 2, who are the voice actors going to be? Are they gonna have my boy Griffin Burns in this? Are they gonna have my boy Ben Diskin? Like, who is gonna be voicing these characters? Am I excited about the English voice cast to the point that I would, switch over to that? Because there's a lot of really talented voice actors on both sides.
I will play on whichever one has the best voice for Feste. If Feste comes out in English, and she's got a real banger of a shit-eating grin kind of voice, I will play in English.
Can you confirm a date on when players can expect the CBT? Will there be more than one testing phase before the official global release?
Once we pass the internal playtest, the CBT is right around the corner. That's the next big step. So we're not far off, but I cannot commit to a date because we basically need to make sure we've got the build locked down.
If you haven't already, you can go to the link in the description to sign up for the Western closed beta or the pinned comment, whichever one we're feeling. Now, for instance, in Lost Ark, that Amazon Games made specific changes that differed from the Korean version and made it less pay to win. How will the monetization system differ from Japan in the Western version of Blue Protocol?
I'm excited for this one. There are some things we were talking to Bamco about. The one thing I'll mention right now, since a lot of it is visible with the JP version, we are bringing the Battle Pass over, also known as the Season Pass. That is going to be very similar. I think a free-to-play MMO with a Season Pass makes sense. That seems like the most reasonable and respectful avenue you can go. You play the game, here's a way to support it, here's some extra goodies. It's an optional subscription.
It's like a loyalty
right?
program, yeah.
Editor note, this interview was conducted before the reveal of the Japanese pity system. Japan did add a pity system.
Okay.
But at launch, there was not, because we saw
probably
those YouTube videos where they're like, I spent $800 and didn't get a single legendary.
It was probably in one of the dev streams. That sounds like a 2-layer system where we can exchange for things that we want through the BPP shop on top of having a pity system.
So one thing I do need to caution about, and we'll have more to talk about as we get closer, is that the price points are not necessarily going to be a one-to-one crossing over from Japan. Our core value are that we want the monetization to be fun and fair. Fun meaning if you want to look a certain way, you totally can. But also fair that if you make a purchase and I don't, it won't negatively impact the game experience, player experience. We want to make sure that you can play the game from beginning to end without having pressure to purchase. You can do all the raid and in-game content. If you're not buying in, you still have a fair chance against somebody who is buying in. We want to make sure playing fields are as level as possible. I think that's good. I think having cosmetics and armor not have stats is the best thing I've ever heard for a customization heavy game.
Yeah, keep it
because there is nothing worse than having an outfit that you like that has garbage stats, or like at the beginning of Monster Hunter where you wear like a hideous armor set because it's got good stuff and you don't have transmog yet. That hurt.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of Monster Hunter, when it comes to the monetization for them, they just have stickers and songs and
you were such a sucker for those.
Silly pose packs and cosmetics or skins for your weapon. So like all of Capcom's monetization for Monster Hunter is not anything that's going to hinder or help, or I guess you would never buy anything that hinders, but that will buff your character. It doesn't change your gameplay functional experience, but it do be changing your fashion experience, which I throw so much money at. I'll throw so much more money at that. That feels good. That feels more rewarding than pay to actually win, you know?
Yes.
Pay to look fabulous. That's great to hear. I know that the gacha costumes do not have stats on them, so that's a relief. Big relief.
Yes. Mike says there are some convenience items that I'll say can come out of there. That's where the line gets a little blurred. Generally speaking, we're trying to make it so that it feels as fair as possible and that it does not detract from the gameplay experience.
Yeah, that's something in the JP version that's had me a little bit worried from what I've seen of the gacha, is having things that kind of they're in that gray area of you could, maybe not pay to win, but maybe get faster results. Like, I'm not as big of a fan of those items, I'll admit.
I'm not the biggest fan of them either, but there's no PvP, so there's no real competition.
Gosh, I hope they don't add PvP.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of being able to spend money and get like a 50% XP boost for 7 days item out of the gacha, and that will put you ahead of your friends. I don't like it, but the game's free, and that will be something that whales will want to do to feel better. And that's what whales want to do. That's what they're supposed to do. And I think ultimately it makes logistical sense for the devs to put such a thing in.
Once Blue Protocol is released into the Western market in 2024, what will the patch parity be between the Western and Japanese service? How will the gap be? How far will the gap be between the two regions?
So one doom and gloom thing that we've always been reading since they announced was that people were angry and saying that since they delayed the game, that means we are always going to be 6 months at least to probably a full year behind where the game is in Japan. So let's see what Mike says. He said, we delayed the game for Throne and Liberty. No, ideally, we are as close as possible so that when we launch something in Japan, we are a fast follow, if not even on the same exact time. There is a logistical challenge with that, and there are unanswered questions we are working through. Localization being one of them, cultural sensitivity, and regional challenges as well. The goal is to be as close as possible. What that's going to look like in practice, we don't know yet. So what you and I hear is potentially we're going to probably ramp up and do patches. So like if it comes out like in Japan, a patch is every 3 months. We might be every 2 months until we catch up and then have patch parity. That's what you and I hear. And that sounds pretty good. But what some people hear is we are working through logistical challenges of cultural sensitivity. So some people are going to hear we are going to hold patches back until we censor everything, and then we'll release a lesser product to you.
I didn't even pay. I was like, what are you getting at? I literally, that part of the answer just like went in one ear and out the other. Like I was focused on thinking about
cultural
it'll take a while to localize.
Regional changes and localization. So you could perceive that they are saying we won't release the patches until we have time to get our puritanical hands on and censor everything.
Yeah, I don't know what cultural sensitivity
a more
means.
Positive outlook is that the devs are going to try. So will we launch with Blitz Lancer? Maybe. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that maybe we will launch with Blitz Lancer because that looks so sick.
When does it come out?
I want to Blitz Lancer.
On JP server.
Next month, I think.
Final question in our chapter. What are your long-term goals and wishes that you have for Blue Protocol in the West?
The launch of Blue Protocol in the West is an opportunity to bring a new world and new IP to a fan base excited about anime. The game is gorgeous. They have a great opening track. It's great. It will bring in anime fans. I agree.
Yeah, I really like is it Larkin Seal? I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but they got a good band to do the intro.
Shamuka-san is super looking forward to this. He's looking at this as a global brand, not necessarily something Japan only. Amazon Games is invested in the project. We are super excited about it. Since Amazon is publishing, does that mean there's going to be cool things like Prime rewards? If you have Prime and you play Blue Protocol, you might get something. Does that mean like collaboration with Twitch to some extent? I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Twitch. I don't know. This game is just the beginning. Day one is going to be multiple chapters of content. Okay, well, they said right there, day one, they're going to have multiple chapters of content.
So our day one is going to have more than the JP? Did we only get one? I guess I don't know what chapters is actually specifically referring to.
Yeah, I don't know. For the Blue Protocol database fans who have been paying attention to the Japanese live stream, we already know they have 4 months of content coming up. New class coming, new chapter coming, and all of that stuff is going to be coming to us as well.
So chapter is the story. So the launch gave you just like chapter 1. But it sounds like the way he presented the answer, it sounds like our day 1 will be full of more content than JP's day 1.
It
Maybe
seems like at the very least we are not going to launch at 1.0.
Yeah.
So like maybe in like a Genshin world, we would launch like at Inazuma. Maybe not that far.
I was thinking, I was like, that's pretty far. Dragon's fine. Maybe Dragon's fine.
Yeah. We're super invested in terms of making sure that we are continuing the vision and legacy of the game and then extending it beyond just the game. So we're leaving that with a little nugget. Does that mean they're going to make an anime itself set in the world? That'd be pretty sick. We're working hard on westernization themes to make it approachable. That means they're censoring everything. Right?
I don't know what that sentence means.
It means they are trying to make the game to Western sensibilities.
I can't think of like anything other than localizing things that are like mentioned. But I can't think of anything in what we've played of the game so far that feels inherently Japanese.
So like if they're eating onigiri, they'll be like, here's some jelly donuts. Give us feedback. We need to hear this game is for fans. It's made by people who are fans, and we want to make sure we keep that close as possible. I think that's huge. I think that's great. We're stewards of the franchise for the Western players, so that means we need to listen to Western players as well. So thank you for helping us hear the voice.
They were allowed to test 1 hour, a client seemingly made for Summer Games Fest, judging from the automated character names.
By the character's name being SGF Demo.
SGF. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So when you go, I clicked around on this briefly. When you look at masculine or feminine, that is the default teen girl as we
Young
go.
adult, yeah.
So right there is no child.
Yeah.
There is body 1 or 2. There is type 1, 2, 3 on JP, and type 1 is like
type 2 is fuller.
Yeah.
You just get more developed, which they're showing how the frame and stuff.
So it does not look like she is
Muba.
significantly shorter. They brought her down. I don't think the shortest type 1 you can get is as short as...
Yeah. So you can see what all of the menus look like. It looks like... Does the Japanese version have voice? I don't remember there being a voice chat option for social on the JP version.
I don't think so.
I think auto message is where it stopped. That's interesting. All of that information seemed like good news to me. I'm taking it all right.
To quote Reggie Fils-Aimé, former president of Nintendo of America, the game is fun. I rest my case. Thank you all for watching. That's it.
That's it.
Now get out. Get dabbed on.